93 Boxing, I'm back with another video. As I'm outside, I'm going to quickly make a video talking about my top pound for pound list, top 3. Now, my main criteria for judging pound for pound is the level of competition you beat and if you've moved up weight divisions or not. Those are my main two criteria, the most important ones. Now, the third most important in my opinion is in what fashion you beat them. And the fourth most important criteria is, do you look good? Does this fighter look good to the eye test? The reason why this is the fourth criteria, in my opinion, is because we remember Adrian Bronner. He looked amazing to the eye test before he fought Paulo Malignaggi. But guess what? When he stepped up, he couldn't beat anyone. He beat some decent fighters, but when he stepped up, he couldn't live up to what we assumed he would be able to live up to with the eye test that we had before he fought anyone decent. So the eye test can lie, as Terence Crawford said. Now, my number 3 pound for pound fighter is Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is a guy who has a decent resume. He doesn't have a crap resume, but he doesn't have an outstanding resume either. There's quite a lot of fighters that have better resume than Terence Crawford. The best fighter he's beaten is really Gamboa, and Postol really had only one very good win in Matisse, maybe a few other which I can't remember, but he wasn't really anything. Postol wasn't anything, that special in my opinion. Now, the reason why Terence Crawford is above Errol Spence and everyone else is simply because he's moved up in weights and he's dismantled. He's got a knockout streak, and he's dismantled a lot of decent fighters in great fashion. It's the fact that he did it in great fashion, plus he moved up in different weights. Those are the reasons why. Errol Spence hasn't really moved up in any weight, but he does have a better resume. But Crawford's resume is decent enough for me to be keeping him in top 3 pound for pound. Number 2, this is very controversial, but bear with me. Number 2 is Danny Garcia. Yep, you heard it right. I put Danny Garcia above Terence Crawford when it comes to pound for pound. Guys, Terence Crawford may look better on the eye test. He may be undefeated, but Danny Garcia has fought and beat better competition. Okay? Against Mauricio Herrera, he landed more power punches. I thought that could have gone either way, but he landed more power punches. Against Lamont Peterson, I thought Danny Garcia won that because Peterson started too late. He really started too late. And against Sean Porter, I thought he won. I really thought there's no way he could have lost. I've made several videos on why I believe Danny Garcia should have won the fight. Basically, there's no way Danny Garcia lost the fight if you thought Thurman beat Porter. Garcia did exactly the same thing that Thurman did against Porter, except that Garcia was a better ring general versus Porter than Thurman was. And yeah, Porter wasn't as effective with his aggression versus Danny Garcia than he was against Thurman. So, look, this is the way I put it. Danny Garcia has beaten better competition than Terence Crawford. Danny Garcia has moved up as well. People forget this, okay? People forget Danny Garcia has moved up to 147, and he beat Robert Guerrero, who's technically is a better fighter and a more established fighter than Jeff Horn was. Like, that's the crazy thing. Terence Crawford is right now number 1 pound for pound, but I'm thinking Danny Garcia could be there, could be above Terence Crawford. He fought a better fighter at 147 to get the title than Terence Crawford did. He has a better resume at 147. I thought he beat Sean Porter. I thought he beat Lamont Peterson. And this is my pound for pound list, so I put him there. The Thurman fight, I really had it a draw. But I can see why people would have the Thurman fight. But let's say even with that Thurman fight loss, right? Let's consider that a loss. Because if you really watch the fight closer, you'd see the fight was closer than you think. Let's go with that. Keith Thurman won that fight. Okay, let's go with that. Even then, he's fought he doesn't look that good to the eye test. But I explain why I don't put that much weight on the eye test. and he hasn't dismantled all of his opponents. But even Danny Goss's cherry picks are on Terence Crawford's level. Like Brandon Rios is better than most of Terence Crawford's opponents, and he knocked him out with one shot. Now he's fighting Adrian Granados, who's actually a decent fighter. Adrian Granados is better than most of Terence Crawford's opponents. And you know, he was there with Sean Porter. He did put up a good fight. He was there with Adrian Broner and put up a good fight. Yeah, man. My number one pound for pound fighter is Saul Canelo Alvarez. He has the best resume in boxing apart from Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's too old to be here, in my opinion. He's not the same fighter anymore. Canelo Alvarez is also someone who he moved up in weights and he fought the best of the best. He has number one, you know, he should be the number one pound for pound fighter. Now he's fighting Danny Jacobs. There is no way that Terence Crawford and Lomachenko is above Canelo. Not even close. This is not even close. Terence Crawford's resume is like it's nothing compared to Canelo. It's a decent resume, but it's nothing compared to Canelo's. Nothing. Hasn't even got anything on Canelo's resume. Like seriously, you know, it's crazy how Amir Khan moves up to fight Canelo, and we shit on Canelo for fighting him, but Crawford, you know, fought Gambo, who kind of really moved up in weight, and yeah, and that's one of Canelo's cherry picks are as good, if not better, than most of Crawford's opponents. Like real talk. But you know, Terence Crawford's a really good fighter. Maybe he ends up being a better fighter than Canelo. He is beating some of these fighters in better fashion, but the levels of resume is completely different. Canelo's resume is deep. But that's really all I have to say, man. That's my pound for pound list. If you disagree with me, please tell me why. And yeah, 93 boxing, I'm out. 93 boxing, I'm back with another video. As I'm outside, I'm going to quickly make a video talking about my top pound for pound list.